Okay, you ready to do this?
Yes.
Welcome to Locking It In with Deb and Per. We're giving you a mortgage and real estate report for the last 2 weeks through July 6th. Yes, it's been a long 2 weeks. We had a heat wave, we had a holiday. According to the US Census data and the NAHB survey, that's the National Association of Home Builders, it showed that home buyers who are in the bottom quarter of the market have been really squeezed out from buying new construction. And that is one of the reasons why we have such historically low inventory, especially at the bottom, for buyers to choose from. And buyers are being forced to choose from among resold homes, which in many cases are being purchased by investors or homeowners with equity. The reason for this dearth in new home construction, of course, has to do with the much higher cost of lumber, which in 2021 is expected to get worse. Apparently, lumber added about $36,000 to the cost of building a home, as well as material and labor shortages, which are going on. Labor is a huge issue. It takes a while for them to ramp up, and the people who worked there before COVID are probably moved on to another job. I don't know where those workers are, but there were over 350,000 unfilled construction jobs at the end of April. The NAHB estimates that regulation actually adds about $93,000 to the price of an average new home. All the permitting, all the buyers at the low end, the bottom quarter, they're not able to get new construction because it's not worth it for the builders to build new low-end homes.
Yes, I mean, manufactured homes are going for over $400,000 new, $500,000, somewhere in that realm. I mean, to get something cheaper than that, it is possible, but the competition is so great that it's very difficult.
It's really interesting how high the cost of a manufactured home can go these days.
Yes.
It really is. They're almost keeping up with stick built in some ways. They also are generally built on a little more land, and because they're out farther, which does help. I think that there are new construction projects picking up now in many states, including Washington. Now, if you were looking for a home in Seattle, Bellevue area,
be prepared to put an extra $300,000 on top of the
asking
price.
Yeah, 88 homes sold for $300,000 over the asking price
in Bellevue,
compared to a year earlier, which was 2. And in Seattle, 580 homes sold for $300,000 or more above the asking price in 2021, as opposed to 16 in 2020. These statistics are just over 4,000 Seattle homes sold for between 100,000 and 299,999,000 above asking, as opposed to 362 last year. It still seems like a lot of homes selling a lot above asking.
Yep.
Even last year. Yeah, and even 6,300 sold for 25,000 to 100. This information might be more meaningful. The typical home in Seattle sold for under $48,000 above asking price in 2021. The median price rose 26% to $738,000. That's the median price of a home in Seattle. This doesn't say new home. This has a lot to do with the employees of tech companies like Amazon and Microsoft, who are buying larger homes to accommodate their new home office. As I said, when the pandemic started, I felt like more people would need more space to live and work in home and homeschool their kids. And if you have just an apartment or a small condo, you have no flexibility. This really has been driving up home prices. However, it's going to start slowing down the price increases, and new construction is starting to go up again. If you are willing to move out to, say, Winlock in Thurston County, Lewis County, there are new construction projects going on there, and I've seen homes in there for under 300,000, which is still quite a drive.
Grays Harbor County has well-priced homes too. Although the sale prices are going up there too quite rapidly, but still they're still much better priced than in Puget Sound.
Yeah. In certain places in Grays Harbor, it really isn't that much farther or even as far or as difficult of a drive as Seattle or even Tukwila. But if you're working in Tacoma, it's not that bad, really, if you're young and you previously used to drive a lot. But it is quite wearing and taxing to have that long drive every day. But I realize that most people I know that commute, they sit in traffic for an hour or more a day. And as long as you don't have to sit in traffic, I'd rather be driving on the open road for an hour and a half.
Yep.
Vacation homes are hot. The sales of vacation homes rose over 16% in 2020, which is 10% more growth than the previous 5.6% increase. And sales are up over 57% year over year between January and April of 2021. It's a change, increasing only 20%. The median price of a home in vacation home counties rose 14.2% versus 10.1% elsewhere. It's interesting that there's a demand for vacation homes right now. Well, you could even live in your vacation home. It could be a first home, but I don't know what they consider a vacation home, if that's a home that people don't generally live in full time, or if that's a second home. Renters. This is why you want to own a home instead of rent. In the past year, the average gain in homeowner equity was $33,400.
That's just this year.
Yeah, the past year. Yeah. Current average equity of mortgaged homes is greater than $216,000. That's the current amount of equity most homeowners hold on average who have a mortgage. There's 6% increase in homeowner equity over the past year. And the total of all US homeowner equity is $1.9 trillion. And your equity can be invaluable during a time of hardship. Unlike if you rent, you've got a ton of options to stay in your home. Always you can do a foreclosure or a Chapter 13. There's a lot of things you can do to buy time and to keep your home, including forbearance, mortgage modifications, things like that. And now there's also help from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac for Fannie and Freddie backed mortgages. The Federal Housing Finance Agency, the FHFA, announced that it will allow some borrowers to reduce the interest rate.
They've been doing that for years. But then
It's
the new thing is the 40-year fixed, which I wouldn't recommend normally to someone to get a 40-year fixed because it's mainly interest that you're paying on it for the first 30 years. But you can lower your payment and save your house with a lower payment on a 40-year fixed.
If you have a permanent hardship due to COVID, then you can qualify for a lot of these plans, which will reduce your payment so that you can actually afford to stay in your house rather than imagine if you lose your house and you have a hardship, which means that you can't necessarily increase your income. Your rent is going to always go up and you're always going to be facing eviction. With your FHA or your VA loan, you can actually get a 40-year term to help you. And you can also refinance these later if your circumstances change. But you're not going to get one of these loans from a regular lender just to reduce your payment just because. That's not going to happen. Even if it were a good idea, it's not a good idea. Are any lenders offering this just for a standard refinance?
There are non-conforming lenders that offer 40-year fixed as part of their regular portfolio loans, but those are higher interest rate loans. And therefore that compensates for the higher interest rate
You're not going to get as low of a monthly payment as you would with one of these.
with a Fannie Mae,
Fannie,
Freddie Mac,
Freddie.
FHA, VA loan,
Yeah.
conforming loan.
And I noticed also, I haven't looked into these yet, there are some new down payment assistance programs out there.
Yes, I have
And-
one with a minimum credit score of 580. Can't do manufactured homes on it, but you can do everything else on it.
Mhm.
And it's zero down with a 580 credit score.
Well, yeah. Has there been much demand for those products?
According to the lender, there's a lot of demand.
My only concern about those, as far as the demand, is because of all the competition on houses, it's hard to get an offer in, I would think. I
Well,
haven't
it's-
tried it with down payment assistance, but I would think it would get, if you have multiple offers, the down payment assistance
Comes in
offers,
last.
yeah, because of all the extra.
It depends. I mean, sometimes people want to help people that are.
Yeah, which is why I say, don't feel, even though the market is what it is and there are multiple offers, I have gotten offers through that were not the highest and best.
Yeah, it just depends.
If the seller doesn't like the buyer or the agent, but you just do find these things that happen, and it happens quite a bit, really, even this multiple offer situation. So what's new in mortgages this week, Parent?
Nothing.
Nothing. The rates went down a bit.
No, they didn't.
No,
They go up and down every
every
day.
other day.
Yeah.
And they've been below 3%, so I usually don't pay attention. It's if they went above 3%, I would actually
A month
notice.
ago, I got a borrower with like about a 660 credit score. VA and FHA have better interest rates than conventional. I got them at 2.5% with no points.
Wow.
That was a month ago. Then the
That's
rates
great.
went up and then they came down again. Right now, we're sitting at about 2.625% for his situation.
Well, that's our real estate report for July 7th, 2021. We'll see you all hopefully next week.
Thank you.